Cannon Johnson and Dan Blanc are just two guys who love the fencing industry and are here to help you grow your company and find solutions to your business challenges. So buckle up and hold on tight as they take you on this ride called My Fence Life.
Dano.
What's happening, man?
Man, what's up, brother? So I think Dan Wheeler has hacked my computer because everything is like not running correctly. Dan Wheeler, I know what you're up to, and I don't appreciate it. That's a real sorry way to try to get your ratings up, is to sabotage our show, man. That's not cool at all. Dan Wheeler, jeez, dude.
Oh man.
Well, hey, Dan.
Difficulties.
Today is July the 6th, 2022. It's a Wednesday. That means one thing. It's the only thing on TV tonight, Dan. Hey, guys, we're doing a new episode tonight. This is MFLQA. This is a new thing we're calling My Fence Life Q&A. We're going to try to do this about once a month where we just take questions. And we've already got a list of questions. But if you want to hit us with some more, go ahead and hit us. Guys, my name is Cannon. I'm with Jackson Fence Company up here in Medina, Tennessee. And this is my good old buddy, old pal, Dan Blanc, the Fence King, down there in the bayou, the swampy butt land of Louisiana. And this is My Fence Life. So let's start the show. Look, if you have a hard time getting here on Wednesday night, if you're like me and you're always late, I want to tell you something. You can listen to this. Like, you don't have to even be here live. I appreciate you being here. It makes kind of helps the show go along, but you don't even have to be here. You can listen. And in fact, Dan, we've pulled some freaking ratings this week. Most of our listeners are coming from Apple Podcasts. I can't believe it. I thought YouTube or Facebook or whatever, but Apple Podcasts, guys, all you walking around with Apple phones in your pocket, thank you for supporting My Fence Life. And if you'll do us a favor, that's all we want you to do. Do us a favor. Like the show, if that's an option. I guess it's an option. Share the show. I'm pretty damn sure that's an option. And leave a review. I know that's an option because, Dan, we got some positive reviews this week.
Yeah, we have, man. And if you don't know how to do all that, just go to Facebook, leave us a review.
Even better.
A couple on there. It's pretty awesome. But we had a pretty awesome review this week.
Let's talk about it.
It was good, man. So it was titled Hidden Treasure. 5 stars.
Ooh, sounds hot.
I don't know how these guys only have 19 reviews, but definitely understand why they're all 5 stars. I'm not even in the fencing industry yet. I was looking into it and came across this podcast. Now I legitimately listen to it for fun. Great information mixed with good personalities. Doesn't even matter what business you're in. These guys give out great information and advice in a clear, understandable way without putting you to sleep. Love what these guys are doing. And that was JREM 1013. Thank you. That was off of Apple Podcast, man.
Man, that's actually a really good review.
I know. I wrote to Dylan, and Dylan's like, "Did you write that?" And I'm like, "No, man. I did not write that."
Hey, look, if you're in the audience tonight, if you're on Facebook watching this live, do us a favor. Drop a comment. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Justin Nary's here with a full belly and a pissed off wife. He says, "Let's roll." Brother, I get it, man. I've got an empty belly and a pissed off wife. So you've actually got the upper hand on me for that one. You got Joseph Rivers in the house tonight. Joseph, welcome to the party. Dan, what are you drinking over there, brother?
Oh, man. I'm drinking some Rabbit Hole. Cave
Rabbit Hole.
This is good stuff, man. You got to get you some of this.
What's that, a Kentucky whiskey, it says?
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, man. I went to a bourbon tasting and the distiller was there, and it was a good time, man.
Good time. I am drinking this all natural spring water.
Budweiser spring water?
Is that terrible or what?
You know Budweiser makes spring water, so you could just get a Budweiser water can. You know.
So we got Sean King in the house tonight. Sean says, "Hey, I got a nice shirt." Yeah, man. I rocked the Mr. Fence Academy shirt today. It's fitting me quite well.
Nice. I know. I think I'm going to send Sean a gas card.
For what? Oh, you want to talk about that, huh?
Yeah, I saw that live, man. Sean King ran out of gas. And then I think the funniest part of the whole thing was they were getting towed in with an equalizer. What's the chances of that, right? And Cannon's on the front of the boat, and he goes, "I believe we're 12 equal sections from the boat in front of us."
All right, so let's talk about that. We was talking about that with Mark Olson called us earlier, right? And
Yeah,
he said, "Man, I just want to call you. This is my friendly reminder. Put gas in the boat. Listen, that's not the only problem with the boat. All right, there was a steering failure situation. There's some stuff going on. It's a nice, really nice boat, and Sean, I felt bad for him. He was. I said I'm gonna embarrass him, but we're gonna have.
sounds like there's
We're gonna.
sounds like there's more wrong with the boat than just the boat. Sounds like maybe it was the captain.
I said, yeah, we're gonna put a plug in for the equalizer while we're out
Yeah.
here on the water. Hey, we got John Wathy here talking about Showtime. What's up, John? I think John was late last week. Of course, Dan Wheeler is here trolling the episode.
Oh,
Taking,
that
take
guy.
some notes, Dan Wheeler. Take some notes, guys. If you don't know, and you probably don't know because it ain't worth knowing about. There's another podcast called the Fence Industry Podcast, and
It's not a big deal like us, but
it's just not a big
yeah,
deal.
no, it's no big deal. No big deal.
We
Hey,
got
I do
Susan.
want to say this, man. You see this? I just met this guy, Jason Nakan.
Uh-huh.
He said I almost only listen on Apple Podcasts. Great
Yep.
to listen during work. He was in my inbox, man, and Jason. Some of these Q&As are from Jason,
Wow.
so it's
Okay.
gonna be good.
Sweet. Hey, man, we got Susan Worley here from Southwest Automation Systems. Did I say that right? SAS. That's how I originally
Southwest Automated Systems, yeah.
automated. Susan, what's up, chick? Thank you for coming on and being with us
Yeah,
tonight.
Susan and I got elected to our AFA board for the Gulf Coast chapter.
Sean King says one motor had gas, other had steering. It is kind of a messed up deal. Like I was like, yeah, it ain't just that simple. You know what I mean?
I don't believe any of it.
Hey, we got Andy Pearson with us tonight. Andy is one of ours. He's headed to St. Jude. Guys, Andy's been with us for a couple of months, and he's got 14-year-old stepson, Jacob, diagnosed with leukemia yesterday.
Yeah, you told me about this, man.
It's a big deal. So we're going to call this Jacob's journey. It's going to be short, it's going to be sweet, and we can get Jacob back home really fast here. So we could always have it worse. You know, my kids are at home, so it's
Sending good vibes your way, Andy.
that sucks, man. Justin Nary hashtag not how grandpa did it. That's a Sean King hashtag. Well, Dan, dude, I'm excited about this MFLQA live from the My Fence.
I don't know how excited I am.
We're gonna put Dan on the hot seat, guys. So here's the agenda. I've got the list of questions right here, and I'm gonna grill Dan Blanc. You think you got a sweaty butt from being in the bayou today? You wait until I get done with you with these questions. You're not gonna know what hit you, and you're live, man. You're gonna be palm sweating. Let's see. Go ahead and raise your shirt. Let's see your armpits, how they look now, and we'll compare them to the end of the show. Okay,
Good.
okay. They're not bad. We'll see how they look here in about an hour.
We're good. We're good. Hold on a second. I need some inspiration.
What you got, brother?
Yeah, there we go.
Got the Matt Warner woo. Hey, guys, we are in the My Salesman studio. Matt Warner, thank you for always supporting My Fence Life. We appreciate that.
Love you, bro. Even though.
Uh-oh. Damn, we got some breaking news. We have got some breaking news. Guys, if you did not receive a copy of this, you need to be looking out. We got some breaking news, guys. We just saw the very first episode of the Fence magazine. Did I say an episode? It's not an episode.
Yeah.
It's an edition.
Edition.
Inaugural edition, a 32-page
First issue
of Fence magazine. And guess who was the featured fence company in this magazine?
Some little fence company out of Tennessee.
So did you get a copy of the magazine, Dan?
I did get a copy of it, man, and I flipped through it through my phone. I was reading the articles. Good stuff in there.
Listen,
And
32 pages. It's all digital right now. Pretty soon, this version will be released in paper format, just like some of the other magazines that are distributed now. But Brian, I'll tell you what, man, He is doing a freaking phenomenal job. I don't know when he sleeps between the boating, the fence industry only Facebook page, the FWA pages, all the websites, the magazines, the fence show. Dan, did you see the layout of the floor plan for the fence show in Las Vegas next year? It is gonna be freaking huge, man.
I sure did, man. And I had somebody send me a map of it. And they're like, "Where are y'all going to be at?" And I circled it, and they're like, "Ah,
Right at the very beginning.
Southwest Automated Security is going to be right there next to y'all."
That
So
was, heck yeah.
it's going to work out well, man. It's going to work out
So,
real well.
my favorite part of the magazine, though, I do want to say this. There was a very brief. I wish it were longer. That's fine, but there was a very brief, um, like an explanation of two different type of welding tables. They showed the most common, the solid surface weld table, but then they showed the open framed weld table. And admittedly, hey, we don't really know who started this, but it's awesome. It's great for larger gates, great for getting more clamps.
Right.
I would imagine it even makes it easier to work around your welds on that open table. So I thought that was kind of cool, just to show some different shop deals. But anyways, hey guys, if you did not get a copy of the Fence magazine, visit Susan Worley. Thank you for putting that on there. Visit fencemagazine.com and sign up for, I guess, a subscription is what you call it.
Yeah, you can sign up for the digital, and you can sign up for the actual publication of it. I think you have to be a member or something. There's some stipulation to get the actual paper copy.
But tell them Dan and Cannon sent you. How about that?
Yeah, just tell them that.
They'll take care of you.
That'll handle everything.
All right, so hey Dan, MFLQA. This is my Fence Life Q&A. You ready for some questions?
Yes, sir, I am.
You don't look ready.
Well, I wasn't ready. I muted myself so I could put ice in my whiskey, and I didn't want to make a bunch of noise and freak
And look here,
everybody.
guys. If at any time you disagree with Dan, we want you to let us know. You can let us know in the comments, or even better, you can call the number 1-877-34-FENCE and let us know. Dan, I don't think that's right. Okay. I'm also going to chime in on some of these, but are you
Well, I
nervous
will
yet,
say
Dan?
this. No, I'm not nervous. I mean, look, man, I learn stuff all the time. All the time. So if I'm wrong or if I don't know, I'll say I think, and I'll welcome any type of correction. I love it. Because that just means I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be
All
the
right. Well,
dumbest
look, question
guy.
number one. You ready?
I guess.
All right. Question number one. And this is coming. This is written from like a up and coming fence contractor. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He writes, "Do I need a license to run my business? And if so, what kind of license do I need to build fences residentially in the state of Louisiana?"
Look, man, if it was me, I would just collect deposits and never go back and do the fence and hightail to Vegas and hit the blackjack table.
Justin Neri already disagrees.
I knew that was coming, so that's why I threw that out there. Thank you, Justin. We need to get that guy on this show, man. All right. So, no, there is not a fence specific. For those of you that can't see me, I'm doing air quotes. License for the state of Louisiana. Now, they do have licensing for gate operators and all that kind of stuff that has to do with fencing, but that's through, I forget the name of that school. But anyway, if you want to learn more, go to episode 38. Susan Worley, who's in the comments, was on there, and you'll learn all about those licensing. But there is no
he's just wanting to go put some fence up in the backyard.
Yeah, so there is no fence specific licensing, but there's a little catch to that.
Oh,
If you're wanting to do any work over $7,500, you have to have a handyman license.
now what does that look like?
It's just really, it's just a way for the state to get some money out of you, to be honest with you. The test is like, what's your name and what's your address? But they collect their fee, and you have to show proof of general liability insurance, workman's comp insurance. So it's kind of just trying to keep you honest, so that way, if you're doing over $7,500, the homeowner knows that, hey, I'm protected here. This guy's got his stuff together. Sad part is nobody really has it.
Nobody?
Not many. You know, when
Wow.
they end up getting it, when they end up getting in some kind of trouble with it or stuff, but I really don't know. I think I know one guy that has it.
So where do we land on this? Are you advising to go get that license, or?
I'm advising to go get that license.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I'm advising you go do.
So check out your local jurisdiction. You might even I'd tell everybody, Dan, like, attorneys are not expensive. First of all, they are if you're gonna like try to beat a murder case, okay? But if you need an attorney to like write up a letter or to help you organize a business, it's not. We're talking about like maybe $150 for a couple of hours of work. So I would say this: get on the phone with a local business attorney and say, "Hey, look, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me, or can you point me in the right direction to somebody that can?" And I think you'll be in good hands.
So that's what I ended up doing, man. I ended up hiring a tax attorney because when I did that, he was able to handle my little minuscule attorney stuff that I need, but he can really handle my major stuff, my workman's comp audits, my general liability audits. So, and actually, he's setting up an LLC right now for Cannon and I, and he can do all that stuff, and it's great. So
yeah,
would
just
kill two
some
birds with one
clarification.
stone.
In the state of Tennessee, I will tell you, like, I think Florida's a state where you got to have there's actually at least some of the counties in Florida have a fencing license. I've seen people discuss it on the forums. That's the only way I know. I don't know much of anything. In Tennessee, you got to have a city license if you're in the city limits. You got to have a county license, and then LLC. You got to register with the state. So
See, Brian Moppin said
yeah, man. So
California.
listen, I got schooled today. I was calling him Brian Moopin. Brian, you said the other day, I'm gonna call you out, bro. But you said the other day it's Moopin, like mooping the floor. You said moo. And so I've been calling you Brian
Yeah,
Moopin. But
same here.
Benji from Clever Fox Media told me, hey man, I talked to Brian today, and it's actually he wanted me to tell you it's Brian mopping, like mopping the floor. So that makes more sense.
Uh-oh. We're getting a call from Hawaii, bruh.
Damn.
Let's answer this.
All right.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, who's this?
Dan?
Yeah,
Dan, Josh Rand with Aloha Fence. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. I was like,
Aloha!
bill collector.
Crazy. What's up? We're not the bill collectors today. We're just chilling in Idaho. We're one state away from where we normally are supposed to be. How
Mhm.
you guys were going already. So I thought I'd call in and say hello and aloha.
Okay. Well, do you you got something to contribute to this? Do we need a license to build
the show-
fence?
Yeah. A license as in like a contractor license? I think absolutely. Because it's a lot of work to get to that level, right? You can't just chuck in a truck it. Not fair, is it?
Well, no, but here in Louisiana, you don't have to have a license.
Hey Brian or Josh, what's up, dude? Hey, in Utah, I'm like in Nebraska and Nevada. It's not either. It's Utah. In the state of Utah, what are the minimum requirements to go build fence? That's what the question is.
Okay, so and I just chimed in, so thanks for updating me on that. So
He's like,
you know what you're doing in certain sense. Like Dan, you know what you're doing. It's kind of different in Utah. I think we're required to have a actual fence contractor license. I have a general contractor license. I could build a building, 4 stories high or whatever. But what they're trying to do is get guys that are, chucking a truck and the ones that are just flying by the seat of their pants out of the way of the guys that know what they're doing. If you're doing it and you're doing it right, and I guess per ASTM standards, then I would say have at it. You got to kind of prove it though. You got a track record. I mean, are both of you just running just a business license in Louisiana? And
yeah, me specifically, I am.
Yeah, I just run
Yeah.
I run under a business license, and we have the handyman license for projects over 7,500. So that's it, man. And pretty much, if you got workman's comp and general liability, you can get a handyman's license here in Louisiana. So the licensing is really not a big deal.
In Tennessee, you would have to have a GC license to do projects over $25,000. In our case, like any project like that is usually already organized by a GC, and so we become a sub to them,
Yeah.
So the general would sub it out to you guys for the under 25,000 types of scenarios. So you fall under a category where you don't need a license to do it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, unless I spearhead it on my own. Like if I go out and spearhead a $26,000 job on my own, now I'm in a slippery slope, But as long as I'm working for a GC, which the larger jobs are, you're just a sub working for a prime, and there's no problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And I guess that would be all right. I think in Utah, though, Utah and Idaho kind of adapt Utah laws. So whatever you do in Utah, Idaho kind of just follows suit. And so like we're installing this dog park in Idaho right now. And if I have a license that's good in Utah, then Idaho kind of accepts it. And I don't even like ask twice. We just do it.
That's right.
And I'm not worried about it. If I was to go to California, I am very scared. So we did the Air Force Base there, Travis Air Force Base, and we did not have to have. You don't even have to have a contractor's license. You just have to. I mean, you couldn't pull it off without knowing what you're doing. But they're like, well, we don't even require a contractor's license to do the government work. And you're like, what? How does that even work? So a little bit different when you're dealing with military, but we are required, I guess, Utah to have a contractor's license or certainly a fence license. Mine's contractor, and under contractor fencing fits under that, and I just specialize in fence, but I could technically build a building. So
up to 4 stories, you said.
Yeah. Up to 4-story R100, E100.
You said a 4-story building earlier, so I was sticking with it. Well, Josh, man,
5 stories, different deal. Anyway.
Yeah, thanks for calling, dude.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
And let me before you go, aloha. That means hello and goodbye. Is that right?
It does. You're right.
Aloha.
That means and goodbye. And there's a bunch of meanings to it. But yeah, right on. Aloha.
Good talk. Aloha. Keep it up, brother. Thanks for calling. All right, man.
So yeah, man.
Aloha fence.
Thanks, Josh.
So licensing, man. It's gonna be different across the country, and you kind of know. There's some people out here that get away with murder, but you should kind of have an idea of what's required of you, and also like, in Tennessee, for example, like you have to register with the county. If you, I think it's $50,000 if you exceed $50,000 revenue. So, we're in one county, and we obviously service multiple counties. That's just how that works. So, hey Dan, we got Benji McKinney here saying, "What's up, Fence Pros?" Benji from Clever Fox Online, and Dan, I had a call with Benji today. Clever Fox is doing all of our internet work. And Dan, they are up to 25 plus fencing contractors, which absolutely blew my mind. So, look, if you're out here and you're looking for somebody to manage your website, help you with your SEO, help you do anything digital or anything that you don't want to do really on the computer, that's how I use them. They know fence over at Clever Fox Online. Dan, are you even there? You're not saying anything.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
What are you
just
doing?
Listening. I had to mute myself real quick. Somebody was making noise in the background. I had to mute myself and scream at him to shut up.
Good job. Good
Handle.
job. Good job.
So, what's next on this list, man?
All right, question number 2. What kind of insurance do I need for my company with just myself? I guess he's the owner, operator, and one helper. And if so, where do you recommend I go to get this insurance? A big online insurance company or a local insurance company?
Well, this is obviously just you need general liability and workman's comp insurance, right?
Mhm.
We want to do things right, and that's doing it right. But workman's comp gets a little crazy. So I remember when I had workman's comp and was paying for it, but I didn't have workman's comp. It's the stupidest thing ever.
Mm.
It was a ghost policy, as they called it, because I was the owner, and what's the word I'm looking for? You can go ahead and opt out of the coverage.
It's an exemption. Yeah.
Yeah, I was exempt, but I still had to have it to work. But it didn't cover anything because I was the owner. It
Right.
was the stupidest thing ever, man.
Well,
But
as an owner, like we have an exemption, me and Kristen here, but of course, if I hurt myself, I'm just gonna figure that out. I'm not gonna like sue the company. You know what I
right,
mean? So, and you could carry a work comp policy on yourself, but I would imagine in most states, Tennessee is one of them. Obviously, Louisiana is one of them. Um, you like I think Tennessee is like $200 for 2 years, and I have an exemption. Every 2 years, we just have to renew it, which they send us something in the mail. Hey, is this still the case? Yada yada yada. Yep, it's still the case. And so what that does is when we pay ourselves payroll, we don't have to pay that 4 to 6%
right.
work comp premium on ourselves. That's all that is. So, Dan, when we started, I'm gonna tell you how we did it. So he asked about where do you buy your insurance? I'm gonna tell you where
Oh,
you buy your damn insurance. You have a mother who sells it for a living. Okay, so in my case, my mom, Kathy, has been
Mama
in the
Johnson.
insurance game for like 30 years. Okay, so I am very undereducated on insurance because I don't feel the need to be educated because mom, you got me right, So we got our work comp and general liability through my mom. It's a small firm, and for me, I can tell you, like our work comp is through a company. My mom's a broker, but it's a company called the Accident Fund, and then our general liability is through a company called like Sunbelt or something. I don't know, Sun something, SunTrust maybe. But then, so in addition to those, when we first started fencing, we began fencing for Lowe's home improvement warehouses, and of course, they had their own insurance requirements, and so we structured our business to meet their requirements in the very beginning, and we've kind of just kept them there this whole time.
Mhm.
But part of their requirements as well were we had to have commercial vehicle insurance, and I guess everybody does,
Right.
So, and we purchased that just for the record from Progressive, which has I guess a pretty sizable commercial uh, fleet
Department. Yeah.
insurance. Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
we've had pretty good luck with it. So our trailers, our trucks, inland marina, that's a whole other thing.
mhm, mhm.
But yeah,
Well, so this is what I would do, man. Um, this is just my opinion. All right. I like to work this backwards. I like to find out who's going to be my tax preparer or tax attorney, in my case. And then I'm like, hey, what CPA do you have a relationship with that specializes in construction? Because there's CPAs out there, and it's just like a guy who normally, you get carpenters say, "Oh, I can build a fence," and they build a horrible fence. It looks good, but it's not built right. Um, I think it's the same way, in my opinion, with CPAs. You don't go to the heart doctor when you got a sinus infection, right? So I'm going to look for me a CPA that all he deals with is construction because he's going to know the ins and outs of everything that I need to know. So my tax attorney was like, I got a guy, he deals in construction. Well, what happens is now those two guys know each other, they have a relationship. So between both of those guys, they're going to know an insurance agent to work with. And then you're going to have all three of those guys working together. So before I go out and get my insurance guy, I'm going to try to find these other guys to all be in sync together. And that's what I've done. And we've also included our banker now. So
So while Dan goes about it all crazy, like I
think it's
I get
important.
adopted by the insurance lady, and that's how.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's important to I think it's important to have all those guys in communication with each other. You
So
know?
Dan, what is a tax attorney? He's saying a CPA. I've always wondered this. I hear you reference it a lot.
So my tax attorney is basically he handles tax cases. He goes to court for people who have tax issues, and he also is a tax preparer, obviously. So it's good to have that guy on your team because he can also do attorney work for you if you need it. Write a letter to a customer because they're not paying, whatever the case might be. So instead of me going, hey, I have an attorney, but now I got an audit, so I don't know what I'm doing, so I need to find somebody to do that for me, or I got to try to figure it out myself. I say, you know what? I'm going to hire a tax attorney, and he's going to be my guy. And if I need some minuscule attorney stuff, he can handle it. But whenever I get a workman's comp audit, general liability audit, I just forward the email. You know. So I see Ryan doesn't agree with me, but sorry, Ryan. I'm running my business like this for years, Pop. So, but so anyway, the being that the tax attorney has a good relationship with my CPA and with my insurance guy, we all sit down twice a year. And I have goals and things I want to do. And my tax attorney's like, well, if we do this or that, then we can go ahead and do this and this. And then my CPA is like, well, no, if you do that, then I can't do this. So we got to do that differently. And I get those guys in tune. Makes life so easy. And then if they're on the same page with my insurance agent, then there's no question of, oh yeah, I need coverage because my payroll is this. I don't have to deal with any of that. My insurance agent calls my CPA. Hey, what's his payroll? What is this? Okay, this is the coverage he needs. It's all handled. And then when everything's done, when I have an audit, people freak out when an audit happens. I don't freak out. I just forward the email to him and it's handled. So if you're going to find an insurance agent, it's not just go out, Google insurance need near me. You really need to consider who you're going with and if they're going to be able to have a relationship with other people on your team to make sure that you're successful. And having all those guys together are going to make you successful. And now this year, we're bringing our banker into that meeting. So now when there's things that I want to do, and my tax attorney goes, well, if you want to do that, we're going to do this and this. And the CPA says, okay, we can do that. Now I'm going to have the banker go, well, if you do that, that's not going to really look good for me. So I can give him more credit. So now I got all these guys figuring this stuff out for me. And I'm not trying to go to the bank and he's like, well, if you would have done this or that, I could give you money, but you filed your taxes wrong. You didn't show enough money.
So I like the idea of your banker and your CPA having some kind of relationship, and that to me, I keep everybody separated. They don't just talk to each other. You know what I mean? But each their own. So I do like for the banker and the CPA to be able to discuss, but there's really not a whole lot to discuss, in my opinion. I had to send some papers over the other day, and I just email William over at the accounting firm. I'm like, hey man, send me my 2018 tax returns if you don't mind. And then I always add that shit to a Google Drive so I have it in the future, if I need it again. But Ken Throckmorton suggests that we should talk about an insurance audit. And I think we should also talk about an insurance audit. So to answer this question, what kind of insurance do I need? Yada, yada, yada. Here's the other thing. When you go and buy your work comp insurance, most of the time, I would say, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you, hey, what do you expect to pay out in payroll? and you're going to tell them, well, I pay this guy this much money. He's going to work this many hours. And you do some little math. And then you're like, oh, we're going to pay out $40,000 in payroll. Okay, cool. So what they'll do is they'll put you on a flat rate payment each month. And then, you start out, you might be anywhere from 6 to 8%, but when you start out, they'll start drawing that money out of your account every month. Now, at the end of the year, every year, not just sometimes, they're going to audit what really happened. And so that's when you produce your payroll summaries or your payroll stubs, however you have it. And you say, well, this is what we actually paid. And then they do some math on their end. They say, okay, well, you were right or you were wrong. And you either owe them more money or they owe you some money. That's how that works. So
the thing about it is they don't give you a refund.
They will.
Is it general liability doesn't give you a refund?
I ain't never been through a GL audit, but your work comp will absolutely cut that check to you.
I think it's the GL then.
or they will apply that money towards your upcoming premiums. But just know that if you grow and you should grow, that number will need to be adjusted. Or at the end of the year you're gonna pay a little bit of money. But you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like, well, do I want to hold on to that money for the year and pay it at the end and use it? Or do I want to, pay it and try to get a refund at the end, or try to be? And option two, by the way, option two is you can do monthly reporting where you actually report how much you paid in payroll, and you pay the exact premium, and there is no refund or payment, at the end of that. So, and then your local state, work comp is a freaking law, and your local your state has people working in what they call it like a workers' compensation bureau, and yes, they can pull up on a job site and inspect your truck and your insurance. And just for the record, you are, at least in the state of Tennessee, that's really all I can talk about, is you are supposed to have that documentation in every vehicle, in every place you do business. It should be available. So we actually have like a little envelope we just stick in the glove box, and we put VIP, very important papers. It's got our certificate of insurances in it. It's got our truck insurance, registration.
We got our trailer registrations in there.
Yep.
Everything. And then every truck's got a copy of every trailer. So no matter which trailer they're pulling, they got it covered. Yeah, we got the same thing, Cannon.
And Brian says work comp audits are a lot easier if you use a payroll service like ADP or something. Correct.
Okay. And that's why my CPA talks to my insurance agent, because my insurance agent gets those numbers from him. I don't have to worry about any of that. I'm just like, all right, whatever, guys. You got it? Yeah. Okay. It's my job to run a fence business, build fence, not do audits. Right.
That's
figure out how much insurance I'm supposed to have. And no, y'all handle that. Let me go sell a fence.
Levi has a good question. We'll come back to that question maybe later, or maybe next week. Hey, question number 3, Dano.
Oh, here we go.
Does my business need an operating agreement?
Well, some people don't know what an operating agreement is.
So what is it?
And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't want to mess this up, so I typed it up. So it's
I'm Googling operating agreement right now. So I can tell you. Go ahead.
It's a key document used by LLCs because it outlines the business financial and functional decisions, including rules, regulations, and provisions. The purpose of the document is to govern the internal operations of the business in a way that suits the specific needs of the business owners. And that's straight from Google. So, the guy that was asking me this question is really just starting his business out. So, I don't know, man. This is kind of a hard one. I think he should have a business plan rather than an operating agreement. I mean, it's important, but, and this is just my opinion, I may be wrong on this, but I feel like he's small and he's going to be morphing, and it's going to be changing so fast that operating agreement is going to just have to keep being changed.
Well, it's going to be basic, but
right.
in Tennessee, at least when you register as an LLC, like that's a requirement. You have to have it, you know. Yeah, like Ken Throckmorton
Well,
said,
that's a good point, Ken, because this guy is going to have a partnership. So there you go.
there has
If you have
it has
partners,
to
you
be
get a
he has to have it. It's that's a legal document that'll be filed, you know, with the courthouse, you know, all that stuff. So
see, but I'm not a partner guy. I don't like partners, and it's just my experience. I always say partners don't work
mhm, mhm.
because one of
Ryan
them
says it's
doesn't
only
work.
needed when there's a partner.
You
And
know,
Joe Ever says they're a must. They can be amended easily. You know, the one that we use, Joe, is probably kind of generic, honestly. But it's real black and white, real simple, uh, and it also this might be another form. This stuff is boring as hell, but there's another form too that's like, um,
you see what Ken said?
how do you handle a disagreement, or maybe like who has voting power? You know,
Yeah, I mean, it depends when your business gets to that. Joe's at a point where he needs an operating agreement without a doubt. We're in the process of revamping ours, and we're in the process of redoing um, our business plan. I see Ken said Dylan Blanc would disagree. Because Dylan's. So I will tell you this: we went ahead and made Dylan 10% owner, which was kind of part of our deal. But being now that he's 10% owner, I don't have to pay workman's comp on him. I can exclude him.
Here we go. Here's a legal. I got mine right here. It's a articles of organization.
Yeah, your articles. Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's all
So
kind of boring stuff, man. Like I don't even know.
yeah.
I do keep it. We do have it.
So Jason Knockan, I want to answer his question here. How would you create a business plan over your operating agreement? Well, I'll tell you this. Ken and I were talking about this today, and my phone was acting up, and I think he missed part of it. Uh, um, Tulane Business. Tulane is a school here in Louisiana, in New Orleans. College Tulane has a business department that will do your business plan for free. You
Who is
just
this now?
Tulane Business School. They will do your business plan for free. You supply them with all the information. Obviously, there's back and forth going on, but they will do it for you for free. But you got to have some information for them. They're going to give you a list of stuff, and they will get it all set up for you to present to an SBA loan, to the bank, whatever the case might be.
And that's what I was going to say. You have to remember a business plan is great. It's most commonly needed for the SBA or the
Mhm.
bank.
Yeah.
Period. I would tell you, before you spend all this time on a business plan, look, we all know these people who spend their entire life making a plan, and they don't ever do shit. You know, like the to me the better answer is just go out there and do it. You know what I mean? Get busy. It ain't gonna be perfect. You're gonna want to change it. Like, don't get so caught up in the plan that you don't do anything. You know, so but whoever this is asking these questions has his head screwed on right. He's wanting to go into this, and he's thinking not just about like, hey man, where's the best place to buy pipe, or what's the best way to do my He's thinking way beyond all of this. He's thinking like, how do I do this and do it legally and not getting into any kind of situation? And that's admirable. So,
Well, he was in my inbox, and he's like, "Look, man, after watching you and Cannon, after listening to Dan Wheeler, he even mentioned Matt from JC Fence, hearing him on Dan Wheeler's show. I think he might have mentioned Joe. I don't remember. We were going back and forth. He's like, look, I know one thing. Come the end of July, I'm quitting my job and I'm starting a fence, and I want to make sure I do it right. I don't want to be the guys that everybody's making fun of on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? You're probably going to get made fun of because you're brand new. You're going to make mistakes.
you only get made fun of if you share.
Right. So, he hit me up with all these questions, and I was going to do a phone call with him and ask me about my day. And I was like, Cannon, this is a lot of stuff, man. We should do a show on it. Cannon's like, hell yeah, let's do it.
MFLQA. Look at Justin there, man. Justin, we can't answer this question, dude. He's like, I wish I could.
Justin?
I'd like to know how a company goes about slowly selling the company to someone else. Slow as in a 10-year buyout, working his way from 0% owner up to 10% in 3 to 5 years. Anyone with experience don't want to wait until I'm ready to retire before I start looking for someone willing to take over.
You know what, Justin? How about we circle back to that on another show? Because Susan brought up a good thing about becoming an ESOP, and ESOPs are pretty awesome. But I need to go back up. Ken Throckmorton said operator agreement is needed then for Fence King because now Dylan is 10%. Well, we literally just filed that paperwork. Once that's done, we're getting our operating agreement done. I'm in the process of doing my corporate resolution. So that way, if anything happens to me, Dylan can just slide right on in and rock and roll with it. So there's no hiccups and everything moves. So we're getting all that stuff together, Kim. But you're right. Now that Dylan's become a partner in this,
Have you taken it to the courthouse? Usually, the courthouse will require that.
you know, my attorney's handling all that. We had a meeting last week, and he's got like 5 items. I think, 3 for Fence King, 2 for my Fence Life. So I got him working on those, and then we'll jump on the rest of the list. I don't even know what it is, man. We got a long list of things we're trying to knock out.
So the ESOP is an employee stock.
It's an option program, I think. It's employee-owned business.
It's an employee-owned business.
That's what I really like about Southwest Automated Security. They are an ESOP. I was involved in one of those.
And Sean, he just is wanting to take Mr. Fence to that position as well.
Dude, that is nothing says I care about my people like an ESOP, in my opinion. It almost every time somebody answers the phone, they're answering the phone for their retirement. And how they respond and if they sell that customer depends on their retirement. It's amazing. Oh, look at Sean. It's the only business
It's also
out there.
a very tax advantageous decision.
Yeah. It's a great
I think it becomes a nonprofit. Is that right, Sean? Is that or tell us more?
Yes, Sean's right. It costs a lot of money to pull it off. But if your
you know what I
company does that for you, you don't want to leave that company, man. That is that's a great thing. And another thing about it is your books have to be perfect. Your books have to be solid. Susan knows about it because she's in one. I'm sure she's pretty involved and knowledgeable. So, but anyway, to the guy that asked these questions, ESOP is probably, I don't think that's something that you need to worry about right now. I don't know how small you got to be or what the requirements are.
Well, Dan, we made it through. We made it through the round of 3 questions.
Did it 3? Did we do 3?
That was 3, dude.
Huh?
That was in and out.
All right, I'm gonna highlight all these and turn them yellow.
Sure.
You're
Put your
done.
arms up in there. Let's see them armpits.
Oh, I'm good. No sweat.
See a little stain.
I don't know, man. That one cat had me. Ryan was like all up in my grill, bro. Damn, Ryan.
Hey, look, guys. The things that we do are the things that we do. We don't know everything either, and like.
That's why at the end of this podcast it says this is the opinions of Dan Cannon and his guest, and that's about it.
Yeah, so that's that. Shane Kenton says for us. So look, there's a conversation going on here, Dan, about contracts with customers. A couple of comments up.
Where at?
Ace Miller says, I want to know about your customer agreement that the company and the customer both sign off on before the job starts. And did you have a lawyer to draw that agreement up? My answer is no.
Yes.
I copied Dan's.
Yes, my very, very, very expensive agreement. Yes.
So,
And I made him swear he would not share that with anybody.
yeah, but look, just like do your homework. I mean, you can have somebody write it up, but I would say you'll, in my opinion, you get better results if you write your own, at least as a preliminary. Like, hey, these are the things I want to cover, and then say, hey, can you make this better? You know, and
Well,
but
that's what
do
I
things.
did.
I mean, go buy a house and take the paperwork that you get and look over it. What is it all saying? Go buy a truck. You look over the paperwork. What is it all saying? You go buy windows from somebody and they give you a contract and like look at their contract. What is it saying? And just you know you can kind of build your own based on what other people are doing and also put in their language about things that you've experienced that you think that's just not fair. That's not fair to me. It's not fair to the customer. Like cover that
Right.
stuff. Put it in your contract.
Well, I had a contract. I don't call it a contract anymore. I call it an agreement. That I had drawn up just over years of seeing other fence guys' contracts, pressure washing guys' contracts, lawn care guys' contracts, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I think my contract started like 14 items. Now we're 28, 29, because it's 23 years of dealing with some type of BS that I started implementing into my agreement. Back in 2017, I had a construction litigation attorney look at it. I did some work for him, and he went through, cleaned it all up. And then this past year, the end of 2021, I had a couple attorneys look at it, go through and tweak everything, make sure it was worded right, and all that good stuff. So build one, work with it, figure out what you need in it.
You'll
And
add
then,
you add to it.
oh yeah, man.
But look,
Don't put that suck in carve it in stone, because you're gonna be
the
making some
more important
changes.
thing I would say is to just do it, use it, get DocuSign, get HelloSign, get some kind of platform.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
feel like you got to go to each person's house. You can print it off and have them sign it on the spot. You can invite them to your place of business, whatever. But figure it out and do it. And I would say never leave that box unchecked.
I like what Shane said here about his attorney. Our attorney reviews and adds to what we already put in place with expectations. Exactly. To ensure legality to hold up in court.
Yeah.
Perfect. We review building laws and registrations as they change. Look, man, if I get a job, we'll go file a job at the courthouse if it's over. I forget how much it is. It costs a couple $100, just to make sure if we don't get paid, we're legally have that job filed,
Mhm.
and we can go after those people properly, and our agreement holds up.
Robert Looker, he asked a question about going. He's a subcontractor now,
Uh-huh.
and based on what his comment said, he's subbing for a fence contracting company.
Uh-huh.
He's wanting to know how he can take his subcontract deal into a full-time ownership. Robert, this is my answer: is you just gotta, if that's what you want to do, you gotta do it. Now, but I do want to say, he says if I did
Well,
those
wait a
jobs on
second.
my own, I'd be making hand over fist what I do subbing. I would challenge that thought to a degree. Okay, for a long time, that will not be accurate. If you're a subcontractor now, and you've got a good rate of pay in exchange for your work, you should be doing really well. If you go into business on your own, in my opinion, you're gonna lose money for at least 3 years. Like you're based off of what you're making now. You got to pay for all the estimating, all the gas, all the you know, as a subcontractor, you will see the people who have bought a fence. You don't
All
see
right.
the 3
So,
people that said no, or the 4 people that said no. You don't have to deal with those people now.
or the BS you had to deal with those people for the job you didn't get. But look, Robert, I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were you. if you're subbing, should already be a company. You should have your
He
own
is.
your
You'd
own
have to be.
insurances and stuff,
You'd have
right?
to. Right.
So, anyway, you should already be a company. So at this point, if it was me, I would take whoever you're subbing for and use their money to finance you becoming a company without them knowing. That's what I would do, and that's how the Fence King was born.
And what he's saying
I was
is
working.
what he's saying. Don't leave. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, but just start selling jobs on the side. And you may have an agreement not to do that, and if you do, I always opt for respect the agreement. People say, "Why'd you do that?" What does they ask me not to do it? I'm not going to do it. Somebody says, "Hey, if we have a deal, we have a deal." That's the way I operate. So if somebody says, "Hey, you can sub for me. This is what I expect, and this is what I require," I don't know the legality of that. Even that's probably not even legal, you know. But respect whatever agreement you have put in place with that person. That's all I would.
And if you got to change that agreement to make it work a little more in your favor, then do it. But
don't hide from it. Don't hide.
You're already a company. It just so happens somebody else is giving you fence work. Go out there and get your own, bro. Now I don't know what your agreement is, but that's what I would do. Let the company you're working for pay your bills while you build your business, and then break off and be like, "Yeehaw, I'm on my own."
Well,
Thank you.
Alan Edwards says the growing pains are real, and Alan, yeah, for real, man.
Yeah,
They don't
there's
stop for
something.
a long time and do not stop.
Justin Nary said, Cannon Johnson, you go into the forum.
Yes.
Is that the Fall Fence
I
Forum?
hope so. I'm there.
What about East Coast Rivalry?
No.
Is that's all ag stuff, huh?
Yeah, both of them are. They're just, I mean, they're similar platforms, just different. Two different people had them up in two different parts of the country. And Luke Gibson is a very good friend of mine, and yeah, I'll be there. Now, Derek Cox puts on the East Coast Fence. I think he's awesome too. It's just I can't really go to both. You know what I mean?
So Justin, if you were at the Fall Fence Forum, you remember Cannon showed up in flip flops
came from the beach, bro.
and a backpack.
Yep.
So I would just like to say, if I go, I will have on flip flops and a backpack.
But you know what, Dan? I was out there walking through those cow pastures with chickers in them, and I was helping them build fence, bro. With my
In flip flop?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was not gonna miss that opportunity, bro. Not gonna miss it.
Oh boy, dude, I'm amazed by that stuff. You see those knots they do?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let's see. That sucks. Must be making them a good money. All right, I'm reading these comments we got, guys.
Justin says he remembers. Wouldn't expect anything less. And Zach Lane says that's not OSHA. Well, Zach, listen.
Look at that profile pic.
Where's Terry today? Terry didn't show up.
Where? Oh, wait. Did you say? Did you say Terry?
He must be at the 4th of July party still.
I guess so, man.
Huh. Well.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh,
Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
Well, Dan, we have covered our 3 questions. Guys, if you like the QF, if you like the MFLQA, let us know. We want to do this some more. And some of you guys have asked questions, and we're just going to throw those into the bucket. And here in the next few episodes, we will get to those questions. We can't wait. But yeah, man, I'm ready to call it, man. I've got this much water. I got to finish.
Dude, I just poured a brand new whiskey, bro. It's like 2 or 3 fingers. It's all right. I got Benji with Clever Fox in the next room. He not flew in, but he drove into town, which, by the way, Cannon was doing a Zoom with Benji. So I took one of my Fence King signs and I snuck in the room and I stuck the sign behind Benji, and Cannon was, this is my time, Dan.
Clever Fox Online.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Hey, guys, log on to your favorite podcast in the morning. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. What else is it? iHeartRadio. We're on all of them. Find one. You will enjoy it. If you're out running around or working or exercising or whatever, put it in your ear and listen.
How does someone get their own sound on the show, Brian? We'll talk about that tomorrow, Brian. I'm gonna give you
$45,
a call.
Brian. We can do anything, bro.
Well, look, man, it was a good show. Thank you. I'm gonna write down some of these questions y'all put, and we're gonna put them in a thing that we can ask later. So, all right, man. Y'all keep on fencing.